Stop for a moment and think about the last time you truly played, not for competition or fitness, but purely for the joy of it. When was that? I've spent years immersed in Carl Jung's work, and one of the most overlooked yet profound insights he shared is that play isn't just for children. It's a vital, non-negotiable nutrient for the adult psyche. In my research, I found that Jung saw spontaneous, imaginative play as a direct bridge to the unconscious, a sacred space where the rigid persona we show the world can soften and the neglected parts of ourselves can finally speak. Today, I want to share with you exactly why Jung believed that reclaiming play is essential for wholeness and how you can start weaving its magic back into your life, starting now. Let's first acknowledge the quiet ache so many adults feel, a sense of being trapped in roles, duties, and endless productivity, where life becomes a series of tasks and the inner spark of spontaneity dims. Jung observed this in his patients, successful, responsible individuals who came to him feeling hollow, as if they'd lost touch with who they really were beneath the masks. He called this the loss of the child archetype, and he saw it as a root of midlife crises, creativity blocks, and even depression. In my study of his clinical notes, I was struck by how often he guided patients not into more analysis, but into creative, playful expression, drawing, sand play, active imagination, because he knew that when the rational mind is given a rest, the soul begins to heal. Take a deep breath and feel into this. When you abandon play, you sever a lifeline to your own aliveness. Jung warned that a one-sided focus on adaptation and seriousness leads to a rigid personality, cut off from the renewing waters of the unconscious. Now, let's explore Jung's core insight. Play is a form of active imagination in everyday life. It's not escapism, it's sacred engagement with the deeper layers of your being. Jung discovered that through play, whether through art, movement, storytelling, or simply daydreaming, you activate what he called the transcendent function, a psychological process that bridges conscious and unconscious minds, allowing conflicting parts of you to dialogue and new insights to emerge. I remember one of Jung's cases where a highly disciplined lawyer, plagued by anxiety, began modeling little figures with clay, a seemingly trivial act. Yet, as he played, long-buried memories and energies surfaced, and he started to reconnect with a playful, imaginative side he'd repressed since childhood. This wasn't regression, it was integration. Jung realized that in play, the symbolic language of the unconscious finds expression, helping to dissolve inner oppositions and restore psychic balance. It's where you meet your inner child, not as a memory, but as a living, dynamic force that carries your innate capacity for curiosity, wonder, and renewal. So how can you practically reintroduce play into your adult life in a way that honors Jung's wisdom? Start small, but start with intention. First, carve out non-negotiable time, even 10 minutes a day, for an activity with no goal other than enjoyment. It could be doodling, dancing in your living room, gardening, or building something with your hands. The key, as Jung emphasized, is to suspend judgment and outcome. This is not about being good at something, it's about letting the process itself guide you. Second, practice what Jung called active imagination. Engage in a dialogue with images from your dreams or fantasies through writing or drawing. Ask playful questions. If this image could speak, what would it say? What does it want? This isn't childish, it's deeply soulful work. Finally, give yourself permission to be imperfect and silly. Jung himself valued humor and lightness as antidotes to psychic inflation. By regularly dipping into play, you nourish the self, the central archetype of wholeness, and invite more spontaneity, resilience, and joy into your daily experience. Jung's enduring message here is that play is the soul's native language, a necessary counterbalance to the demands of adult life, and a direct path to psychological renewal.
When you make space for play, you're not being irresponsible. You're honoring a fundamental law of the psyche, one that fosters creativity, dissolves inner conflict, and keeps you connected to what makes you truly alive. And this leads perfectly into a question I'm deeply passionate about exploring with you next. How can I recover playfulness without irresponsibility? This is such a crucial tension so many of you feel, wanting to be light and spontaneous, yet fearing you'll neglect your duties or seem immature. Tomorrow, we'll dive into Jung's brilliant framework for balancing the child and the adult within, so you can embrace play as a grounding force, not a reckless escape. You won't want to miss this, because integrating this balance is where real transformation happens. If this resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. What playful activity calls to you? Make sure to subscribe and join me tomorrow as we explore this essential next step in your Jungian journey toward wholeness.